Welcome to Rich Conversations. Right now, I'm just outside the Field Museum in Chicago, and behind me, we have this beautiful Chicago skyline. It's one of those skylines where you don't have to do much or say much. You just kind of show it. Show, don't tell. So we're in Chicago. I'm about to go in the Field Museum. I love natural history and fossils and exploring nature. But I want to take a moment to discuss environments and how we're products of our environment. We're very influenced by our environments. And to show this, to demonstrate this, I want to share some observations I've made while traveling. So I've been going to different cities, I've been traveling. Something I like to do is just observe. Just observe and kind of notice different things. So what I want to share are my fashion observations of the people in Paris, London, LA, New York, Chicago, Wisconsin, and Miami. So I have some notes here. I just want to share some brief notes just to demonstrate how much we are a product of our environments. We're influenced by everything around us, so much so that we dress the same as the people around us. It's very clear. Okay. Let's start with London. London, I don't have too much insight here other than the woman wore like crop tops that I have never seen anywhere else. And I also saw people dressed in more punk ways, more extreme than what I see in other cities, in Chicago. More tattoos, more piercings, just in certain areas. But again, this is just a brief observation, and I was in areas kind of like that. You also see guys dressed up. London, I don't have too much information. So let's go to Paris. All right. So the men, they wear black peacoats and black shoes and smoke cigarettes a lot. Their facial hair is kind of a loose 5 o'clock shadow. What was interesting with Paris too is before I went there, I set aside a budget for fashion. And, you know, I don't do a lot of shopping, so I thought this would be an opportunity to do so. But when I got there, I didn't like the fashion. The guys, while they're dressed up a little bit more, the floor is higher fashion-wise, I didn't really care for it, so I didn't actually use my budget. They all kind of dress the same. It's that black peacoat, black shoes, smoking cigarettes outside cafes. The woman in Paris, though, hey, chef's kiss, peacoats, black or tan, and heels. This is really the only city out of the ones we've mentioned that really wear heels. That's kind of a standard. Again, the floor on the fashion in Paris, pretty high overall, but not much individuality. So that was pretty interesting to note. Sometimes the woman would wear these like fancy hats. Way to go. Let's switch to New York. New York, I don't know if people just dress ugly on purpose or... No, I'm kidding. A lot of earth tones. When we're talking shoes, what I notice is that everybody's wearing flat shoes or flat-soled shoes. Earth tones. You'll see peacoats more for women than you do men. The women, what you'll commonly see are these tan peacoats, black peacoats, but then they'll wear like whitewashed jeans and flat-soled shoes. That's a very common what I have observed. The guys are a little bit more hipster in a way where how do I describe this? It's kind of like the Allbirds and the just kind of sleek, upscale pajama kind of stuff. But you'll also see the Carhartt hats. This is a city, New York City, outside of Wisconsin, is the city that I see the most Carhartt apparel, which is so interesting, you know? So you'll have women wearing peacoats and like whitewashed jeans, flat-soled shoes, like a Converse, Adidas, something like that. And then just like a tan Carhartt hat. Doesn't really make any sense. But people dress more as individuals there. When you're on the subway, people can really make a statement there. But overall, you see the fashion trend, especially for younger people, you see it trend more towards the 90s. So they're wearing, you see these baggy jeans, the flat-soled shoes, a little bit more ornamentation on the shoes, baggy overall, but then you also see guys wearing not a lot of brands, not a lot of detail, but just plain clothing, longer coats, flat shoes again, soled shoes. You'll see more mustaches in New York too with guys in regards to facial hair. I'm not really a fan of the New York fashion. There are people there that will dress spectacular because they're dressed more individually. But overall, it's just kind of I don't really care much for it. Let's move on to Los Angeles. The guys there there's like a laid backness to it. Like the weather is warmer in general. A lot of these cities, people are dressing in accordance to the weather and the climate. So that's part of our environment, right? Is what's the weather like? Is it always raining like in London or Paris? Or is it hot and humid like Miami, or hot and dry and desert climate like Los Angeles, where when the sun goes down, it gets cold. So you kind of need a lightweight jacket. But these lightweight jackets are more slim. It's kind of that Allbirds kind of upscale pajama, kind of similar to New York in a way. But what you'll notice with guys in Los Angeles is these loafers, kind of, the upscale pajama kind of thing, upscale slippers. But I think a big thing that stuck out to me was these lawn sleeve tees. Also in LA, you'll see a lot of punctuation for guys, these fresh Nikes, just kind of clothing that pops. So you'll see that a bit too. Women, I don't have enough sample size. I guess I was observing women less. What I would say is you see more lightweight fabrics that are kind of flowy. Overall, there's kind of like a less of a thrift look that New York would have, or a Chicago, and more of a kind of brand forward, more interested in brands and kind of newness like that. Whereas New York, because of the individuality, that you can go to thrift stores. But just because they're thrift stores doesn't mean they're cheap. I went into this one in New York once, and it was all 90s apparel. And the prices were outrageous for these faded, say like a Charlotte Hornets sweatshirt. Like $50? Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. Let's move into Chicago. So I don't have a lot on the woman in Los Angeles. So let's go to Chicago. Chicago is Midwest. So Midwest, people will just dress nice. The main theme is comfort and utility. So people are dressing just, for comfort, just very practical. You'll see a lot more graphic tees in Chicago, and that's kind of how people express themselves. the fashion bar is really low in the Midwest. No offense, I grew up in the Midwest. I live in the Midwest. But I mean, if you just match the colors of your clothes, you're gonna get looks in Chicago and Wisconsin, which we'll get to next. So there's kind of this mix and match. There's not a lot of thought put into it other than what's practical and, oh, I like this band, so I'm gonna wear this t-shirt, or I got this t-shirt at a festival or for free, so I'm gonna wear it. The guys will have more beards and mustaches. There's less beards in New York. Chicago can mirror New York in some ways. Dressing nice in Chicago is just kind of your, sweater with a collared shirt underneath, some slacks, and you see these kind of fashion loafers. I will say the soles of the shoes are predominantly flat in Chicago right now, but you get a little bit more mixture in there because you're dressing for comfort, so a lot of times athletic shoes won't have that flat nature to it. The women, a lot of mom jeans in Chicago, a lot of bagginess, a lot of that mix and match again. It's like people are expressing themselves, but not really in a way that looks not in a way that it's not Paris. How about that? You're not gonna confuse someone. You're not gonna confuse the fashion in Chicago with the fashion in Paris. That's for sure. I will say that. In the winter, people don't wear pea coats too much. You see a lot of these puffy coats and more of this like sleek kind of dry fit shell jackets for guys. In the winter, people just kind of wear whatever to be warm. So on the L, when you're taking public transportation, you'll look and you'll just see just people trying to be warm. That's the main thing. Wisconsin, you'll see more flannel for the guys. The facial hair, you get a lot of goatees. That's a big thing in Wisconsin. Certainly southeast Wisconsin. You go more up north Wisconsin, you'll get more flannel, kind of like lumberjack looking stuff. More boots. Now this again might be where I'm from in rural Wisconsin, but you'll see, boots, sometimes cowboy boots. Milwaukee area, you get kind of that kind of corporate, nice look, Midwest look. Sweaters, just slacks, nothing really that pops. Not a lot of accessories in Chicago or Wisconsin. Women, mix and match again, comfort and utility. Now let's go to Miami. So this is the most recent city I've gone to, traveled to. I've been there 5 times now. I love the guys in Miami. There's so much energy, so much life. Guys in Miami dress like they're about to go to the gym or coming back from the gym, but they're always wearing accessories, necklaces, bracelets, rings. So you don't know if they're also about to just go party. There's a great energy with them, and they're wearing shorts a lot because the weather, when I was there, it was 80 and sunny every day. So guys are wearing shorts, and the difference is like the body type in Miami. Lower bodies, guys have great calves, overall like quads, thighs, just like thicker, really, you can really see the results of the work they put in the gym. So bravo to guys in Miami. You guys look good. They'll wear like higher socks, and Miami, you don't see flat shoes. Flat-soled shoes, just are very uncommon. You'll see Birkenstocks, I guess that's what they're called. These kind of like foam croc looking sandals, like slip-on sandals. You can never tell if, something like that, the material, it looks like you could pay $10 for it or $500. You never know because it's Miami. So that's really interesting. Something I noticed with the guys in Miami, the facial hair is these beards that are very trimmed, very well trimmed, really tight, really well kept, manicured, really great looking. There's a lot of care that goes into appearance in Miami, you can tell. And that transitions us into women in Miami. I don't know if they passed an ordinance in Miami where no mom jeans are allowed. Mom jeans, not really a thing in Miami. You'll see, similar to LA, this kind of lightweight material, fabrics that are a little looser. So you'll see that. You'll see women wearing that. Yoga pants. Women are wearing yoga pants all the time. Similar to how men, it looks like they either are going to or coming from the gym. Women, it looks like they're also going to or coming from the gym or a yoga class. Again, with the shoes, not much flat-soled shoes. More athletic. Everybody's just ready to be outside, ready to run, ready to work out. It's pretty interesting. Another note with Miami, you'll see a lot of lighter colors, white, teal. With women, a little you see more teal than pink. Guys, you'll see black, but you'll see white t-shirts a lot more. Again, the accessories. So it's really interesting. Just kind of going and just observing people in their environments. We are influenced by our environments. And this is just an example of that. We dress like each other. We're influenced by each other, both in our values, what we wear, what we do, our actions. So I hope this just sheds a little light on that we often emulate our friends, and we're influenced by the climate of where we live, and it affects everything. So those are just some very general fashion observations from just traveling around to these different areas. Every region is just kind of their own, and I love that. And it goes to show you the variety and different spices in life.